5 a.m. sharp, while the world sleeps, he wakes to conquer a grueling 10-kilometer run. By noon, his blade sings through the air, striking 500 times with perfect precision. When the clock strikes 5 p.m., he declares war on his muscles at the gym, pushing past 20 reps per set until failure. To match the legendary Saitama's routine, he even resigned from his job. Society called him insane. He called it dedication. But his madness was justified. A holographic system materialized from thin air, delivering a chilling prophecy. The gate to the apocalypse was about to shatter open. Now, the countdown hits 5 seconds. But to understand this moment, we must rewind 15 days. The nightmare began when every phone in the city screamed in unison. Critical disaster alerts flooded screens, warning of monster manifestations. On a viral live stream, a young influencer laughs off the danger, unaware that a beast has materialized in the background. Driven by clout, the streamer decides to investigate. He moves closer to the shadows, ignoring the frantic comments flooding his chat, warning him of the horror lurking behind his back. The chat screams in terror, but he mocks them. It's just a prank, he thinks. That naivety vanishes instantly when the chat warns that something is breathing down his neck. He turns, and the blood drains from his face. A monstrosity looms over his shoulder. The stream cuts to black, leaving thousands of viewers witnessing a digital murder. Lee Hoyong walks the streets, shaken. He mutters about the video's realistic CGI, desperately trying to convince himself it was just a high-budget hoax. But the disaster alerts don't stop. His phone vibrates relentlessly with warnings. Lee Hoyong stares at the sky, wondering if reality itself is fracturing. It is hard enough surviving the daily grind of modern life. Believing in monsters feels impossible. He assumes it is just another wave of fake news designed to incite panic. Then he freezes. He looks up from his screen, and his skepticism shatters. Right there on the pavement, a chained creature writhes in agony. A real monster. He tries to. Is it begging for help? Lee Hoyong trembles. He reminds himself of the laws of nature. He is human, and that thing is a beast. Compassion. But then, a system against all logic. He chooses kindness. He helps the dying monster and, in return, receives a parting gift that will change his destiny. Lee Hoyong, who in their right, the anchor's monster. He stands by the window, the mysterious pill heavy in his palm. Suddenly, a deafening explosion rocks the neighborhood, shattering the silence. Lee Hoyong, a man and rising from the ashes like a tombstone for humanity, an immense tower pierces the clouds. Its shadow swallows the devastated city whole. The news doubt wars with. He realizes this is the moment that defines him. With a surge of insane courage, he swallows the pill. Instantly, a dormant energy detonates within his core. A holographic status window flashes into existence. The system confirms he has obtained a legendary item, the Guide to Survive. A mystical glowing tech. He obeyed. The fifth, different than I. The system open status. He gripped. The guide was specific. Do not run. Use every second of the 60 minutes to slaughter monsters. Escaping now would only stunt his evolution. The realization. The tutorial. A monster. He hesitates. It looks adorable, harmless even. But suddenly, the one-horned raccoon's face twists, revealing the terrifying beast hiding beneath the cute facade. The beast, the one-horned, a quick conservation, *1, the screen, suddenly, how is he supposed, he is back, why are the, it's a go, another beast, the sit, back to, for convention, but in this, he dumps for points into sensitivity. Instantly, the world sharpens. Leaves rustle, twigs snap, he can feel every movement in the forest. Another one-horned raccoon falls. It's almost too easy now. Even with basic physical stats, these tutorial mobs are no match for his heightened senses. The guy killing them, but with his boost, the Foley system alert, defeat the level to alpha. Before he can process the warning, the beast launches a ferocious leap. Hoyong throws himself to the dirt. He dodges the impact by a hair but stumbles, scrambling to regain his footing. He spins around just as the alpha's horn obliterates a tree trunk. Splinters fly. That power is undeniable. This is definitely the boss. He steals the monster. Now, his sword flashes in a precise arc. Steel meets flesh, intercepting the charge with fatal accuracy. The alpha falls. The boss does tutorial. Is it over? Blink, and he's gone. He materializes in a massive hall, surrounded by a confused, murmuring crowd. In the center of the chamber, a bizarre object hovers, pulsing with ominous energy. A disembodied voice booms, "Welcome, survivors. They have entered the tower's lobby, region C-1000-500-50-7. The real game has begun." Hoyong gazes up at the vast ceiling. A lobby, he whispers, mind racing. He scans the room. Panic is spreading like a virus. It makes sense their entire reality collapsed and reshaped itself in a single day. If he hadn't known the apocalypse was coming, he'd be hyperventilating on the floor with them. Knowledge is his only armor. Calm down. Survive. He centers himself. A woman nearby cries out, "Where are we?" A voice answers from nowhere, "The Tower of the End." She spins around, eyes wide, searching for the speaker. Poof. A small rabbit wearing a sharp suit manifests in their midst. "I am Kungum," it announces, "manager of the lower floors, level 55. "Is that the kid in a costume?" someone mutters. "Did you kidnap us?" Angry shouts erupt from the crowd. Kungum sighs, expecting the denial, but Hoyong cuts through the noise. "If the world has ended," he asks coldly, "what are we supposed to do now?" The rabbit's ears twitch. He points a paw at Hoyong. "Now that is an excellent question." Kungum turns to the 22 trembling souls in the hall. His cute demeanor vanishes, replaced by a chilling grin. Manager Kungum drops the bombshell. A game of life and death starts now. The crowd freezes, paralyzed by the sudden ultimatum. Hoyong watches from the shadows, trembling. The creature grins, revealing the cruel truth. All of humanity is trapped inside this tower. To survive, they must climb every single floor together. A young man's voice shakes as he asks the question on everyone's mind. "If we reach the top, can we return to our normal lives?" Kungum shrugs. "Who knows? I've never been there myself." Han screams out, "What's the point of this madness?" In a flash, the rabbit grabs him. "Does there need to be a point to survival?" His cute face darkens. "Refuse to climb, and only a brutal fate awaits." He leans in closer. "Most of you didn't even survive the tutorial." The horror sinks in like ice water. That hell they just went through was merely the warm-up. Thousands have already perished before the real game even began. A cold realization strikes the crowd about the fallen, but the rabbit interrupts their grief. He has a twisted proposal to make. Kungum spreads his arms wide, mocking them. "Is anyone here brave enough to kill me? Defeat me, and I get to go home. I'll even give you a special reward." But Hoyong sees the tag above its head, level 55. It's a suicide mission. Hoyong suppresses his urge to act. He waits. Suddenly, a blue window pings in his vision. A new notification from the guide. Mission. Help manager Kungum return home. Hoyong frowns. Does the system really want him to attack a monster way above his league? The guide has never led him astray before, but attacking a game master? It feels like walking into a trap. He hesitates, sweat forming on his brow. Suddenly, another man steps out from the crowd. "I'll do it. I'll send you home." Hoyong curses internally. He missed his chance. He charges. "Ooh, scary." The rabbit mocks. A shockwave blasts outward. The man is thrown backward by an invisible, crushing force. The crowd gets silent. "He's dead." Kungum, the guide ping. "Come on." Hoyong, the interface shimmers. He scans the description. Another skill. Since when did he have this? But there's no time to question his luck. A smirk. "I'll do it." He takes his stance. "Send me home. Quickly." The rabbit demands. A woman grabs Hoyong's arm. "Stop, you saw what happened. It's suicide. Don't." He grips the hilt of his sword, eyes locked on the target. "Watch closely. This is going to be interesting." The rabbit, there are 20, he draws his sword blade. The man who died earlier. He never existed. Just a hyperrealistic hologram created by Kungum's magic. Kungum claps. The creature dissolves into particles of light. Hoyong exhales, adrenaline fading. A small, glowing sphere drops to the floor. He shrugs. Kim Seong, sneering. He points out the cold, hard facts. Li Hoyong is still stuck at level 1, which means he is either pathetic trash or a coward who ran away. Kim mocks that. Furious, Ho Young suddenly, this gold is the currency for the shop, awarded based on the number of monsters hunted. Ho Young smirks internally. Luck had nothing to do with it. The ranking board flashes. The highest starting gold in the area is a staggering 7,400. Gasps of shock erupt from the crowd. Kim Seong, but the dimension. Ho Young, while Kim Se, he looks down at his ragged clothes. He can't keep fighting in a gym uniform. He drops some gold to gear up with proper battle attire. She admits that despite his level, his bravery left a deep impression on her. To deflect, he asks about her funds. She honestly reveals she has 800 gold. His eye, he advised, a menace. They have real. She asks, the arrogant the first. It is. Ho Young, no, it isn't about whether it's possible. He has to make it possible. He looks up at the grim sky with steely determination. He will do what Kim sees. Furious, Ho Young, as they march, Kim complains about the swarms of bugs in the forest. Yazeel prays they can finish the mission without internal conflict. Suddenly, Ho Young knows. Yazeel calls out to him, trembling. She asks if the kobold monster is strong. He replies it is manageable, but definitely a step up from the raccoon. He grips Ho Young, Yazeel, Kim, he leaps Kimya, a steel clap. Sha uses her healing Seong. Suddenly, unbelievable. But then, meanwhile, Seong roared, activating Stone Fist. He launched a devastating haymaker, but the kobold didn't even flinch. It blocked the strike like it was swatting a fly. Slowly, the creature turned its gaze upon him. The air grew heavy with killing intent. A menacing panic set in. The impact sent her flying. She hit the dirt hard, but adrenaline surged through her veins. She scrambled up, blade drawn, ready to fight to the death. The monster charged like a freight train. Suddenly, an object sailed through the air. Lee Hoyoung's sword flashed, slicing the projectile in mid-flight. Cracks formed on its skin. It began to dissolve into digital dust. System. Enemy eliminated. Victory. Seong scoffed. He had seen the guide. It was. He extended. Hoyoung. You vanished when it got real. Seong spat. Then you pop out to steal the last hit. Despicable. Hoyoung. Seong with a T. Seong. You. Walch. How are they doing it so? A heavy foot crushed his spine. Arg. It hurts. The monster ground him into the dirt like a bug. Help me, anyone. He begged. Suddenly, the pressure vanished. Silence fell over the battlefield. The kobold, Hoyoung looked, tear, light and he dropped. Seong Lee Hoy. No, it was your brilliance, Yuzil insisted. I never would have used poison. Hoyoung smirked. Without you too, I'd be dead, even if he felt like a bit of a fraud. Suddenly, portals flared open across the hall. Other teams were returning from the nightmare. Kim Jun-ung and Seo Jun-ho's elite squad stepped out. Sha Yuzil waved politely, acknowledging the rivals. They must have cracked the poison code too, Hoyoung noted. But would the other groups be so lucky? Medic, we need a medic. A bloody figure stumbled from a portal. He collapsed on the tiles, gasping for air. We made it. Sha Yi-sul rushes to the fallen man, demanding answers about the third member of their party. The survivor gasps for air, his face pale with horror. He reveals the grim truth. Only the two of them made it back alive. A holographic screen flashes before them. Level 1 mission complete. The survivor collapses on the floor, overwhelmed by the notification. Chai Yi-sul screams for the system to pause. People are still missing. But the cruel interface coldly reports that 8 players failed to return. Lee Ho-young stares at the screen, his expression darkening as the reality sets in. He knew this tower would be hell, but 8 eliminations in the first round? He wonders how many will be left standing before they even reach the summit. The system ignores the grief and begins calculating rewards. The team that took first place is awarded 1,000 gold per member. Lee Ho-young checks his status window. 2,000 gold. A solid insurance policy for his survival in this nightmare. He resolves to hoard every coin. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the crowd, demanding to know which team took the top spot. Lee Ho-young realizes hiding is futile. The second group already knows. He raises his hand, stepping into the spotlight. It was us. Kim Jong cuts in with a sneer. He claims the result was obvious and tells everyone to quit their whining. A young man in a blue hoodie eyes them skeptically. You guys were really the first to clear it? Kim Jong snaps back, asking if the guy is jealous. Li Ho-young notices his companion conveniently forgot his own defeat, but at least it draws the heat off him. The crowd inspects Li Ho-young's status and murmurs erupt. He is only level 2, and he got 2,000 gold for doing nothing. The accusations fly instantly. They claim he was dead weight, carried to victory by his team. Don't you feel any shame? Li Ho-young sighs. So much for flying under the radar. The target is painted squarely on his back. Chai Yi-sul tries to defend him, shouting that Ho-young actually saved them, but he cuts her off. Don't bother, they won't listen to logic. He whispers that he will just have to show them his power later. Suddenly, Kim Jong claps loudly, commanding the room's attention. Flexing his rank as one of the highest level players, he orders everyone to calm down and focus on the real goal, survival. But the dungeon, a crimson warning materializes in mid-air. Panic ripples through the group. What is happening to the fire? The system's cold. The rule, a 5-minute silence. A man screams for a pause. Chai Yi-sul suggests a desperate loophole. If everyone votes for themselves, it's a tie, no one goes. But panic, her finger. Chai Yi-sul gasps his name in horror. Seo Junho asks if this is cruel, pointing out that the voting isn't anonymous anyway. Sorry, Seo admits the truth. He just doesn't want to be eliminated. Chai Yi-sul tries to rally the group again, but Li Ho-young shakes his head. It won't work. Li Ho-young sees the reality. Trust is a luxury they cannot afford. One by one, the vote count next to his name climbs. He knows the Chai Yi-sul screams at their cruelty, but a man snaps back. If I don't vote for him, I die. It's him or me. A woman whispers that a level 2 would die anyway. In the final second, Kim Jong flashes a mocking smile at his boss. Nothing personal. Kim Jong, Li Ho-young, Kim Jong, turning his back on, he has no choice. Assistant back in the way. Kim Jong stepped forward, feigning sorrow as he sighed about having to leave a comrade behind. But Kim Seong scoffed, his eyes cold as he muttered that everyone eventually gets what they deserve. Seong sneered, claiming Li Ho-young's low level proved he was nothing but a leech who let the group carry him. Chai Yi-sul snapped back, demanding to know if he truly believed Ho-young's skills hadn't saved them. He waved her. Kim Jong laughed dryly, saying he hoped Ho-young was as strong as she claimed that way. There might be a slim chance of him returning. She stood. He navigated through shredded tents, instantly recognizing the stench of a kobold lair. The atmosphere was heavy with dread. The young man, he clenched, suddenly, then, the objective, Ho-young, a kobold lunged. He saw his blade with the chief roared and swung a heavy blow, but Ho-young caught the impact squarely on his sword. Sparks flew as they clashed in the center of the camp, but Ho-young noticed something odd. The monster retreated the instant they connected to minimize the damage. The beast took a martial stance, showing intelligence rare for a monster. Before suddenly leaping backward, Ho-young blinked in confusion. The chief stumbled mid-flight, seemingly in pain. Ho-young didn't hesitate, closing the gap and raining down strikes, wondering if this was just a bonus round. But as he swung for the final kill, his blade hit an invisible wall. Confusion flashed across his face. He couldn't understand why his attack had stopped. The kobold chief rose, howling at the heavens as a blood-red moon pierced the clouds above. Ho-young watched, paralyzed by the sudden shift in pressure. The monster he offered to carry the team for the remaining floors, his ego unchecked. Chai Yi-sul ignored him, continuing to pray for her companion's safety. Suddenly a figure, the system blared a joyous announcement. The player from the death mission had returned alive. With a smirk, he announced he was back, and Chai Yi-sul screamed his name in relief. A delay in the flat, he staggered back from the phantom pain of the memory. Then he pressed a hand to his chest, forcing his body to recover from the ordeal. Under the pale light of the moon, the Cobalt Chieftain initiates its final, devastating charge. The beast roars closer, and Li Ho-young knows he only needs one clean hit to win. He faces the rushing nightmare, but suddenly, a crystalline barrier materializes out of thin air, blocking his path. With a single, brutal punch, the chieftain shatters the defense. The massive shockwave blasts Li Ho-young backward like a ragdoll. He glances back and sees the monster's fist pulverized a massive tree instantly. That is when a revelation sparks in his mind. A sword might not be able to slice through a solid wall, but a nail can drive straight through it. He realizes his mistake. He was obsessed with the idea of slashing. Eyes burning with resolve, he prepares to gamble everything on this new theory. He will turn the monster's own momentum against it. Lee Ho-young aligns his blade for a piercing thrust, putting every ounce of his body weight behind the steel. The chieftain leaps. The very earth explodes beneath its feet from the sheer force of the takeoff. Death descends from the sky, blades drawn. Ho-young stands his ground, staring into the abyss of the final confrontation. He channels all his power into a microscopic point at the sword's tip. Impact. The concentrated energy drills perfectly into the beast's chest. The dust settles. Lee Ho-young holds his stance, unwavering. He knows the gamble paid off. The system chimes, death mission cleared, and a new skill has been acquired. As the scene shifts back to the lobby, a figure approaches him from the shadows. Lee Ho-young lifts his gaze to see who is walking toward him. Cha Yi-sul sprints forward with arms wide, shouting she knew he would survive. But suddenly, Kim Seong dives in to intercept the hug, knocking everyone into a heap. Dazed on the "I knew you'd Kim," he laughs a man, he sneers, whispers even in they refuse to accept that a destitute orphan could outshine them. Now, the crowd concludes he must have just hidden in a corner to survive the mission. Ho-young, but he knows exactly how to handle this. Before he can speak, Cha Yi-sul steps up, her voice sharp as a blade. "Watch your mouths. Why do you doubt him when he's standing right here?" She grabs Ho-young's hand, facing the mob. "You people don't know anything." Kim, she's to get Ho-young. Lee Ho-young steps forward, commanding the room. "You want proof? I'll show you something." Kim Seong whistles, impressed he kept the poison apple. Ho-young shrugs nonchalantly. "Just luck. Luck or not." Ho-young's, he looks at Ho-young and hangs his head. "You're right." Seo-jun admits he called it unavoidable, but deep down, it was pure, ugly selfishness. The other, Seo-jun, Ho-young's, have you know someone grabbed his eye? The tower is not mere. A hush falls. Kim Jun-sung, "We will climb." Hope. Cha Yi-sul steps up. Even Seo-jano scoffs with a newfound respect. "I guess we were wrong to judge the guy by his level," he admits, struck by Lee Ho-young's unexpected generosity. Suddenly, the air warps. The fairy creature, Kunkum, manifests in their midst with a mischievous grin. Lee Ho-young sighs. "Speak of the devil. What a shame." Kunkum points. The fairy genre, battle royale. The declaration hits them like a physical blow. Everyone freezes, but Kunkum waves a hand dismissively. "Oh, cheer up, it's just a light sample. A mere appetizer since it's a low level." Kunkum hold rule, but be warned, it whispers, enjoying their terror. They aren't cheap copies. They share your stats, your skills, and even your memories. You will be fighting yourself. Kunkum then drops. In other words, the creature purrs. "This mission could be the golden opportunity you've been waiting for. You monster." Kunkum ignores. Everyone gets a notification. Lee Ho-young, the monsters, the shockwave. He glares at the Titan. It's not a name, he realizes. It's a description, a literal disaster. Nearby, a man falls to his knees, hope extinguishing. How do we fight that asterisk? Help me. Panic spreads like a plague, paralyzing the group. The monster lunges forward, its massive fist aiming to crush a frozen player into paste. The player screams as the shadow engulfs him, but a blur of motion intercepts. Lee Ho-young dives in, deflecting the attack mere inches from death. Sparks fly as steel meets shadow. The second floor mission hasn't even started. Lee Ho-young roars. "What the hell is this thing doing?" Kunkum roll. Asterisk it has to be. Asterisk he deduces. Asterisk just a taste of fear. Surely the monster doesn't actually intend to wipe us out yet. Asterisk. But the Kim Jun-sung looses an arrow, and another player hurls a boulder. Asterisk thwack. Asterisk useless. The attacks bounce off harmlessly, leaving Kim shouting in frustration. Lee Ho-young, "I'm out of my..." The creature steals. He focuses. With a asterisk crack, thus settled. Then a roar erupts not from the beast, but the crowd. They chant his name like a prayer. Lee Ho-young, Lee Ho-young. He stares at his hands. Asterisk, was my attack really that strong? Asterisk. He realizes the truth instantly. That power, it was unlike anything he had ever experienced. Ancient, absolute. Suddenly, a blue his vision lying bat Seo Yano, the fairy, but the little creature pouts, complaining the show was boring because the humans are acting far too friendly with one another. Kakum drop a heavy with a cruel Li Woon. The tension is another player suggests marking the innocent, but the idea is instantly shot down. The doppelgangers possess their exact memories. They can fake anything. Li Ho-yang steps forward, commanding the room's attention. He announces calmly that he has a plan. Desperate eyes turn to him, begging for a solution. Li Ho-yang declares that for this mission, he alone will bear the burden of the slaughter. The crowd is stunned into silence. He orders everyone to gather at the highest peak of the second floor. Anyone they encounter who isn't him, consider them a monster. Former soldier in Sang steps up, skepticism written on his scarred face. He demands to know if this suicidal strategy is truly the plan. A woman scoffs, asking why they should blindly follow the orders of someone with such a pathetic level. Li Ho-yang meets her gaze with ice-cold intensity. He asks if she has already forgotten the fairy's twisted words. He reminds them that the tower feeds on conflict, while the mission says to hunt doppelgangers. The system's true desire is to watch the players tear each other apart. He refuses to dance to the tower's tune any longer. This strategy is the only way to break the cycle of manipulation. The woman still hesitates, fear clouding her judgment. But Kim Jong raises his hand, backing the play. He argues it is the only way to minimize casualties. He looks sharply at Li Ho-yang, asking the million-dollar question. Does he actually have a method to distinguish the fakes? Li Ho-yang's lips curve into a confident smile. Of course he does. The second floor mission officially begins. The ominous warning flashes. One life must be extinguished within 30 minutes. Trudging through the wild, Kim Sang grumbles about the reckless plan and the steep climb. Suddenly, he freezes. He isn't alone. A voice calls his name, sending his adrenaline spiking. Li Ho-yang steps out from behind a tree, teasing the giant for thinking he could hide. Kim Sang exhales, his shoulders dropping in relief. It is just his big brother. He lowers his guard. The figure in front of Kim Sang grins. It is a doppelganger. But before it can strike, the real Li Ho-yang lunges from the shadows, his blade severing the imposter's head in one clean stroke. Li Ho-yang doesn't even flinch as the body dissolves. He reiterates his vow. He alone will become the executioner of this floor. A holographic screen materializes, marking the start of the death clock. 30 minutes remaining. The count is set. 16 players against 16 shadows. He opens his status window, grinning at a hidden achievement for reaching maximum sensitivity first. The system notification couldn't have arrived at a more perfect moment. Fate is on his side. Without hesitation, he dumps every available point into the sensitivity attribute. Golden text flashes. Level 50 reached. The skill Flawless Senses has been unlocked. The skill description promises godlike perception. His 5 senses will be sharpened to a razor's edge, revealing hidden truths about everyone around him. Li Ho-yang opens his eyes. The world shifts. It feels as if a high-definition filter has been snapped over reality. A distant murmur catches his ear. His pupils constrict. He knows that voice. His perception expands like a radar, sweeping across the vast forest. He locks his auditory focus on Kim Sang, who is wandering alone through the dense woods miles away. Kim Sang is grumbling loudly, cursing Li Ho-yang for sending them on this pointless hike up the mountain. Li Ho-yang chuckles at the complaint, but suddenly, a foul, dark smoke drifts into his enhanced olfactory range. He covers his nose, gagging at the stench of rot. Through his mind's eye, he sees the aura of Kim Sang, but something is wrong. That isn't his friend, it is a monster wearing his skin. Elsewhere, Kim Jong stands over a dissolving corpse as the system announces a successful elimination. The doppelganger had mimicked the original perfectly right up until the death blow. The deception is flawless. With his new sensory powers confirmed, Li Ho-yang prays the others stick to the plan. He recalls how Kim Jong-un's support swayed the group. Trust is their only weapon now. He needs them to reach the high ground safely. But suddenly, a blood-red notification shatters his hope. Player eliminated. The counter drops to 15. Li Ho-yang freezes. A real player has already fallen. The nightmare has begun. Li Ho-yang's mind raced with possibilities. Was it the doppelgangers, another player? Or perhaps even Seong causing this chaos? With no way to know the truth, he refused to hesitate. He steeled himself to act. Like a phantom, he tore through the dense forest, hunting for the source of the disturbance with breakneck speed. In the distance, a massive tree was sliced clean in half with 2 devastating strikes. One doppelganger had been purged, but a player had fallen with it. Lee Ho-young narrowed his eyes, searching for the killer. He stopped, channeling his mana. His eyes glowed as he activated his sensory ability. His vision found you. Lee Ho-young crouched on the system. He glanced, turning to the Lee Ho-young yet. His Ho-young instantly Kim Jae. He kept his Ho-young Kim Jae, but the moment Jae-nong, Lee Ho, I am sorry. Ho-young suddenly relief washed over Yurin's face. Thank God. I was so worried because I heard 2 players had already been eliminated. She stepped. Are you serious? The fake, their blades, the if she had Yurin, the Lee Ho-young suddenly whoosh, an arrow grazed his cheek. The projectile smashed into the stone wall behind him, embedding itself deep in the rock, inches from where his head had been. Blood tricked nurse Kim Jae-nong. A twisted smile spread across Kim Jae-nong's face. Bingo. He stepped out from behind the tree. I am a former fisherman from Wying. My technique, he chuckled. Is it betrayal, futility, or perhaps? His face contorted into a demonic mask as he screamed the last word. Rage. He let out a Lee Ho-young recalled the moment he carried the injured man. I can see other people's status windows, he revealed coldly. And your stats? They had increased far too much for someone who was dying. He sneers, noting that Lee Ho-young gets more interesting by the second. But Ho-young coldly tells him to cut the trash talk. He explains. He fires his bow, shouting, how could I refuse such a bounty? Lee Ho-young had wondered if some cruel fate forced his hand. He stares down the arrow flying straight for his heart. But he was wrong. He dodges the lethal strike with a simple tilt. Ho-young realizes the truth. The man simply wore a mask of humanity, hiding the monster beneath. Lee Ho-young concludes that this guy is just a predator. He watches the trio of enemies closing in for the kill. The doppelganger of Seo Jun-ho leaps, his greatsword crashing down. Ho-young evades with a sharp sidestep. He stomps on the enemy's blade, launching himself airborne to deflect a sudden volley of arrows. He recognizes the pattern, but a second, hidden arrow screams through the air, catching him off guard. He twists his body at the final second. With a circular sweep of his blade, he knocks the projectile from the sky. Lee Ho-young lands, composing himself. He understands now that his opponent is holding back his true trump cards. From a low crouch, he analyzes the board. The region's best tank is supported by the ultimate healer, and an attacker stronger than both lies in wait with a bow. Ho-young realizes this is a formation with absolute 0 openings. Lee Ho-young admits he doesn't know how Jun-ung tamed these puppets, but the preparation is undeniably flawless. Kim Jun-ung laughs, replying that for a legendary catch, he needed a legendary trap. Ho-young is tougher than he predicted. He gloats that this way is far more entertaining. He wants to savor watching Ho-young struggle before the inevitable end. Lee Ho-young's gaze turns icy. Kim Jun-ung draws his bowstring tight, barking orders to his puppets. He releases the string, yelling, time to pull up the nets. But Ho-young's focus does not waver. His skill, flawless senses, erupts. He realizes this team balance is indeed perfect. Attacks converge from every angle, a death trap with no escape route. His analysis flashes. Choyul's doppelganger is level 7. Seo Jun-ho's is level 8. The steel closes in to crush him, but the status screen flickers. Ho-young's stats are level 2, but his senses are level 50. The arrows simply freeze in his vision. He explodes forward, bypassing the defense and striking Seo Jun-ho's doppelganger, who is already riddled with projectiles. Facing this overwhelming speed, the healer, Choyul's doppelganger, scrambles to react. She prepares a desperate support spell. Her hands glow with holy light. But before the chant finishes, Ho-young silences her with a ruthless slash. He follows through, proving that a perfect team composition means nothing before absolute skill. Two system alerts confirm the destruction of the puppets. Kim Jun-ung watches from afar, his confident laughter turning into a nervous cackle. Terror floods his face. His knees hit the dirt, Lee Ho-young stares down at him, eyes void of mercy. Kim Jong-un begs for his life, groveling in the dust. He claims he became obsessed with the system rewards and lost his mind for a moment. He bows his head, stammering that he got impatient seeing Ho-young's skill, crossing a line he never meant to cross. He pleads for forgiveness just one time. But as he repeats his mantra, his grip tightens on a hidden weapon. Betrayal. He lunges with a hidden arrow, screaming for Ho-young to die. Ho-young ends it with a single, bored swing of his sword. Ho-young stands motionless, a shallow cut on his arm. Defeated, Kim Jong-un realizes his final gamble has failed. As his vision fades, he realizes his target wasn't prey. He was a leviathan that swallowed the hunter whole. The system announces the player's death. Lee Ho-young looks down at the corpse, sword still dripping. He reflects on the grim necessity of eliminating a human threat. Suddenly, a system message chimes. With the challenger defeated, he has unlocked the path to become the Star Vanquisher. Strange energy begins to swirl around his body. He frowns, wondering what this new power is. The notification explains, acceptance grants a stat bonus and the ability to command the doppelgangers, and if he ascends to become the true Star Vanquisher, a god-tier benefit awaits. A dark, ominous silhouette manifests above him. He clutches his head as a headache splits his skull. The atmospheric energy condenses into a singularity. A hand reaches out from that void. A female figure emerges, and the system prompts him. Will he accept the trial? Lee Ho, putting aside the lump, he reflects on but the path ahead. The system message flashes again, taunting him with power. The benefits are intoxicating, forcing him to weigh his humanity against survival. The mysterious female figure watches him like a hawk, waiting for him to break. But Lee Ho-young steals his heart. He taps the screen, rejecting the devil's bargain. He declares he will never lose his mind and become a monster like Kim Jong-un. Suddenly, the scene shifts. Before his eyes, Kim Jong-un, Cha Il, and Seo Jun-ho appear. Their voices cheerful and welcoming. His eyes, for a split second, Lee Ho-young wonders if madness might be the easier path. But he shakes off the thought, turning to the gathered survivors to thank them for trusting his brutal plan. A survivor, his gaze, Lee Ho-young, a nightmare walk. He stares. A heavy silence descends on the hall. The group is frozen, paralyzed by the impossible standoff. Lee Ho-young, the two Ho-youngs, Lee Ho-young, he asserts that he knows this chaosy shock, the imposter, a slice, the players, even the doppelganger. The words hit hard. They all remember Kim Jong-un as their highest level leader, the beacon of hope who gave them courage when all was lost. A female player, the lookalike, the real the fake scoffs, declaring he is just ending this farce. He jabs a finger at the real Ho-young, branding him the monster. Lee Ho, a female player, she snapped. Lee Ho-young, he closes the lookalike. His hand tightens around the hilt of his weapon. He begins to explain the dark truth. Suddenly, raw energy explodes from his hand. The lookalikes, Kim Jong-un, with his sword, but suddenly, the logic, Seo Chang, the rules of the, but Ho-young, Seo Chang hesitated, unable to accept that Jun-ong was the enemy. Ho-young ignored the doubt, turning his gaze to the archer with a chilling question. Have you killed before? He didn't wait for a reply. The silence spoke volumes. Jun-ong had been wearing the mask of a saint, patiently waiting for the perfect moment to stab them in the back. Rage erupted from the crowd. A female player stepped forward, her voice cracking with indignation as she screamed, "How dare you!" Memories of Jun-ong saving her life flashed before her eyes. She wouldn't accept this slander against her savior. "I'll never forgive you," she shrieked, preparing to charge. But before she could take a single step, her body jerked violently, frozen by an unseen force. She looked down, confusion morphing into horror. An arrow protruded from her chest. On the ground, Kim Jong-un lowered his bow, his eyes dead and cold. Ding! The system notification rang out like a funeral toll. Player eliminated. The survivor count dropped, sending a shockwave of terror through the group. Lee Ho-young clicked his tongue in irritation. He hadn't expected the rat to still have enough strength to bite. Shoulders shaking, the archer began to chuckle. Finally, he muttered, the mask slipping away completely. He threw his head back, laughter echoing through the forest like madness personified. That look, that despair, that is exactly the expression I wanted to see. Another notification chimed. Doppelganger eliminated. The threat was gone. And Sang stepped forward, bowing his head in shame for ever doubting their leader. The former soldier awaited command, his voice steady. What is our next move? Ho Young watched him, calculating the path forward. The truth washed over the crowd. The enemy lay dead, and the man standing before them was the undeniable, truly Ho Young. But peace was short-lived. A horde of doppelgangers unsheathed their blades. The players turned to Ho Young as one, pledging their absolute loyalty to his command. Déjà vu hit him hard. Once again, the burden of leadership rested on his shoulders. Ho Young opened his eyes, determination burning within them. It was time to end this. He took a breath, preparing to announce the final strategy that would secure their survival. It's all or nothing, one doppelganger screamed, charging forward in a suicidal bid for mutual destruction. The creature struck a player, but Ho Young roared a command. No, don't just kill them. We need their gold first. He declared the ultimate counterattack. Loot the gold. Use it to boost your stats instantly. With that, he led the charge. The players struck back, their power rising with every coin seized. Ho Young grinned. They were no longer prey, they were stronger than they were yesterday. And the copies couldn't keep up. The interface revealed the cruel truth of the battlefield. The doppelgangers were stagnant, locked with the same stats the players had possessed when they first entered the second floor. But the humans had evolved. Fueled by gold and instant upgrades, they crushed the opposition, clearing the mission without a single additional casualty. The dust settled, but the air remained heavy. Ho Young frowned. If not for Zhenong's treachery, everyone would be standing here right now. And Sang slumped, the weight of guilt crushing him. To think the traitor had been in his own squad the entire time. Ho Young clenched his jaw. His perfect run was ruined. He had aimed for a flawless victory, and he had missed the mark. Yet, he shuddered to think of the other regions. Without a guide, without a plan. They were likely drowning in blood and chaos. The path ahead would only get darker. But he realized something: his ability to read the strategy guide wasn't a fluke. It was a lifeline given to the weak. He tightened his fist, swearing an oath to himself. As long as people put their faith in him, he would save as many as he could. Suddenly, a hand extended toward him. It was Sang. "Thank you for keeping us alive," the soldier said. But Ho Young shook his head, crediting the victory to the group's trust in his plan. Seo Chang observed him sharply. "You're still level 2, he noted. "You must have a hell of a special ability to compensate for that slow progression." Ho Young met his gaze, Seo Chang's sharp intuition and caution. Yes, those traits would be invaluable assets in the battles to come. The former soldier bowed deep, a sincere apology for his doubt. The others followed suit, but Ho Young waved them off. Apologies were a luxury they didn't need. "I knew he was special from the start," Kim boasted loudly. Choi Yujin scoffed. "Please. I realized his potential way before you did." And Sang straightened his posture, his expression turning grave. "I know this is shameless, after how we treated you." He looked Ho Young in the eye. "Please, lead us from now on." Ho Young paused for a moment, then accepted the request with a faint smile. "But to understand the full picture, we must rewind." 5 minutes prior, the battle had officially ended, yet the system showed one enemy remaining. While the group panicked, searching for the straggler, Ho Young slipped away into the shadows. He stopped before a dense thicket, his eyes locking onto something the others had missed. With a precise strike into the shadows, he annihilates the hiding enemy. A system window flashes. The doppelganger has been eliminated, and the mission is officially complete. The system declares that the golden rewards will now be distributed, calculated strictly by each player's contribution to the battle. Murmurs of surprise and joy erupt among the players as their inventories fill with gold. Kim Siang throws his head back, laughing with overflowing confidence. He beats his chest and roars to the sky, bragging that he is the man worthy of a massive 2,000 gold bounty. Li Hoyang watches the celebration in silence, his expression unreadable. He is satisfied that his plan enriched everyone, but then a notification freezes him. He received 12,500 gold. His eyes widen. The payout is astronomical, far beyond his calculations. The system chimes again, because his assets exceeded 10,000 gold. His personal shop has leveled up. He immediately scans the glowing interface, deciding how to invest this fortune. He doesn't hesitate. He purchases a skill enhancement, and instantly, his basic swordsmanship ascends to level 3. To regain the mastery he once wielded in his past life, this price is practically a steal. With a satisfied smirk, he closes the shop window. Nearby, Cha Yi-sul gasps as a transfer notification appears. Li Hoyoung has shared a portion of his wealth with her. She asks him why he recalls. Li Hoyoung looks her in the eye and the fact that humanity still exists among them. That is entirely thanks to her heart. Cha Yi with a radiant next, Hoyoung suddenly, Kim Siang drops into a dramatic kneel and shouts, "Big bro." He swears that from this moment on, Hoyoung's wish is his absolute command. Li Hoyoung grips the hilt of his weapon, feeling the familiar weight. It is time to test the devastating power of his level 3 swordsmanship. A red alert blares. The third floor mission has begun. It is a siege. The players look out toward the horizon, where a massive castle looms in the distance. The system of a new item, while the others, moments later, Kim is clinging to the side of a jagged cliff, cursing under his breath as he struggles to climb the sheer rock face. He grumbles that Hoyoung is overly dramatic and could have just explained the plan. He complains that he should have been told that defeat here meant respawning, not actual death. A guide window he decides like a with one he puffs before his eye, scanning. He recalls Hoyoung's specific order not to kill anyone, to keep the return crystal mechanic a secret. But looking at them, Kim scoffs they look weak. Why should a tiger fear rabbits? Bang! Kim Siang is blasted backward, a violent impact slamming into his skull. He hits the ground, stunned and clutching his head in agony. Disoriented and gasping for air, he tries to clear his vision. What just hit him? Through the blur, he focuses on the altar. Standing there is a woman, smoke drifting from the barrel of a gun pointed right at him. Li Hoyoung's eyes narrow as he watches from afar. A gun? Kim Siang confirms the intel, screaming that the weapon fires magic projectiles that ignore standard defense. Hoyoung finds this impossible. Even in Chang, a trained soldier, doesn't have access to modern firearms in this system. Then, a memory surfaces. He recalls the exclusive perks granted to those labeled as a scourge of the stars. The realization hits him like a truck. Their opponent isn't just another player. She is a scourge. He clenches his fist, knowing this battle just became a nightmare. Suddenly, a gentle hand touches his arm. Cha Yi-sul smiles at him, calm amidst the chaos. "Don't worry," she whispers, "I've got your back." Seo Junho and the strike team steel themselves for the oncoming storm. Kim Si-young roars with confidence, swearing the enemy sniper won't stand a chance. A cold smile touches Li Ho-young's lips. "Perfect," he murmurs, ready to unveil the strategy that will crush them. Tension suffocates the room. Cold sweat drips from a trembling man. Meanwhile, a woman yawns, bored, standing before a silent army of players. Li Ho-young triggers flawless senses. The S-rank ability he snatched from the last mission floods his mind with hyper-awareness. His vision zooms in, piercing the distance to the castle wall. Just as predicted, only two sentries stand guard. Seo Junho steps onto the battlefield, his voice booming toward the guards. "Looks like fate brings us together again." He worries the enemy might deduce the secret of the crystals, but Ho-young dismisses it. They'll just assume it's another one of his broken skills. Atop the ramparts, the guards draw their bows. Suddenly, Cha Yi-sul's eyes widen. Something fast is tearing through the air toward her. The archers loose their volley in unison. Kim Si-young gasps, blindsided. This attack pattern is nothing like the last timeline. In a display of impossible skill, the enemy arrows are struck down mid-flight by a counter volley. Now, Li Ho-young screams. He sprints, planting his foot on Kim Si-young's shoulder and launching himself into the sky like a human missile. As Ho-young ascends, a stray arrow bites into Kim Si-young. The guards look up, paralyzed by the sight of death flying straight at them. Flash of steel, with a single, fluid stroke, Ho-young cuts down both enemies. "We only had one chance," he says coldly, "and I took it." Seo Junho realizes the clock is ticking. The enemy will figure out the crystal mechanic soon. Speed is their only option. The raid party charges. Kim Si-young bellows, 5 punches, that's all I need to crumble this gate, urging the squad to stay on his heels. He winds up his stone fist, but right before impact, a massive force slams into him, sending him flying back. Boom! The gate explodes inward from a single, devastating blow. It's obliterated beyond repair. While Cha Yi-sul frantically heals the wounded Kim Si-young, Lee Ho-young stares at the destruction, his eyes narrowing. A dying guard wheezes out a final taunt. I don't know why she let you live, but that arrogance will be your grave. Through the dust of the shattered gate, a silhouette emerges. Ho-young's instincts scream danger. That gunslinger is ready to feast on the chaos. The woman raises her weapon, her gaze icy. Ho-young checks her status window and his blood runs cold. Title: Star Assassin. Level 13. Ho-young is stunned. She must have slaughtered every single player on the second floor to reach that power. A vision flashes of the assassin standing over a mountain of corpses. Reality snaps back. She pulls the trigger, aiming right for his heart. Bang! The bullet slams into his chest. The force lifts him off his feet and hurls him into the dirt. He gulps a potion, grimacing. Her hesitation is zero. Thank God he equipped Talia's leather armor beforehand, or he'd be dead. Eyes darting over the wall, he analyzes the combat data. Each magic bullet drains exactly 10 mana. He does the math. If her shop level matches his, she doesn't have access to mana recovery items yet. She's finite. The gunslinger stands like a reaper, weapon steady. Ho-young calculates, 13 shots left. That's the limit. Push forward, he commands. There's no retreat. His group roars and surges into the violent clash. Screams and battle cries merge into a cacophony of war. The Star Assassin's finger twitches. Another gunshot rings out. A player drops, clutching his chest, zigzag formation. Someone yells, "Don't run in a straight line." Lee Ho-young grits his teeth. The gunslinger isn't invincible. She's burning mana with every trigger pull. He remembers the plan. He needed someone to bait her, to take just one shot to drain her reserves. A bullet finds its mark, but the player's chest plate flashes, absorbing the lethal impact. Despite the pain, the tank grins fiercely. The Star Assassin fires again and again, but he keeps running, turning his body into a bullet sponge. Cha Yi-sul pours healing magic into him, keeping him on his feet. The gunslinger lowers her weapon, realizing they've countered her burst damage. Frustrated, she kicks one of her own teammates forward. "Go, kill them," she screeches, forcing a chaotic melee. Lee Ho-young knows this is the turning point. To the altar. He thinks, we have to end this now. An enemy lunges, steel flashing, but Ho-young parries the strike with effortless precision. A second attacker flanks him. Ho-young pivots, blocking the blindside attack, and smashes his sword hilt into the first guy's face. Suddenly, his senses flare. A magic bullet is whizzing straight for his skull. Seo Junho dives in. He shoves Ho-young aside and takes the bullet on his blade. The impact is so heavy it tears the sword from his grip. The Star Assassin's eyes widen. They reacted. "Go, Ho-young." Seo Junho screams, clutching his numb arm. "Don't stop." Lee Ho-young glares at the enemy, rage burning in his eyes like inferno. Behind him, Cha Yi-sul trembles, her mana barrier flickering under the pressure. Players fall left and right, dissolving into light. Ho-young watches the death toll rise, sensing the desperate weight of the battle. He knew the rules of this twisted game. Defeat wasn't permanent death. But looking at her, a chill ran down his spine. How could she slaughter players with such a serene, gentle expression? The Star Assassin faced him, a ghost of a smile playing on her lips. Behind her, a blue-haired man chuckled darkly, finding their struggling party amusingly pathetic. Lee Ho-young's grip tightened on his hilt until his knuckles turned white. He exploded forward. Level 3 swordsmanship unleashed. His blade carved into the earth, readying a lethal follow-up. But suddenly a gunman materialized from the shadows to intercept the gunslinger. Asterisk bang, asterisk. Two bullets collided in mid-air. A massive explosion tore through the courtyard, engulfing the battlefield in smoke and fire. Kim Si-young's voice cut through the chaos. "We're in deep trouble." But then, a realization hit him. "Wait, our ally reached the altar. The restraints are off." A savage grin spread across his face. He roared to the heavens, We don't have to hold back anymore. Asterisk boom, asterisk he smashed the ground with devastating force, sending enemies flying like ragdolls. With the mobs cleared, only Lee Hoyoung and the gunslinger remained on the altar. Confusion flickered in the gunslinger's eyes. How, she demanded. You're only level 2. Where does this monstrous power come from? He smirked, fearlessly staring her down. The real mystery is how you're already level 13. Silence hung between them before he stepped onto the sacred stone. Asterisk click dot asterisk the altar activated. A wave of energy pulsed outward from his feet. Asterisk ding. Asterisk system. You have occupied the altar. Elimination of opposing player required. The logic was simple. To claim total victory, 3 players needed to stand on this platform to fully secure it. The gunslinger raised her weapon, eyes cold. Lee Hoyoung didn't flinch. Aiming the gun he'd scavenged, he dashed forward, a desperate gambit to end this now. Asterisk bang. Asterisk she fired a lightning-fast shot. But to her shock, sparks flew. He deflected the bullet with a seamless blend of sword and gunplay. He seized the opening and slashed. The woman leaped back instantly, abandoning the altar to escape his deadly reach. Suspended, a confident in the realm of true master, they called him. He kicked the gunslingers, the shot, a scratch. Hoyoung, Kim Seang shouted, signaling their victory over the mobs. We're done here. Finish it quickly. Does that It was. Do you really think you've won? She whispered. Suddenly, gold light enveloped her. She just burned currency to level up her shooting mastery mid-fight. Asterisk damn it, asterisk Hoyoung gritted his teeth at this twisted pay-to-win mechanic. Her eye glowed with lethal intent. Asterisk bang bang. Asterisk two shots rang out faster than sound. The first, his body, that reward was pathetic. Kim Seang grumbled. He looked at the teen. I didn't expect her to fire those consecutive shots at the very end. I took the, as she dissolved, sudden, a poor, asterisk, a desperate, asterisk zap, asterisk an invisible force blasted his hand back. His screams of agony filled the room. Then, the blood and asterisk dinged, asterisk system. Only one survivor remains, initiating group reorganization. Realization, every head, the gunslinger joined Lee Ho. 13 players stood amidst the skeletal remains of a ruined metropolis. A woman gazed up at the decaying skyline, wondering aloud if this wasteland was truly the 4th floor. Suddenly, a crimson system alert flashed before their eyes. Disaster would strike in exactly 6 hours. Their mission was clear: slaughter every monster in the city to secure an escape portal. But there was a catch. Only 20 portals would appear in total, and each one could save only a single person. The 6-hour death timer began to tick. One of the men cheered, fist pumping the air. With 20 exits for 13 souls, the math was on their side. There would be 0 competition for survival. Kim's Chai-Yi cut through the hype, reminding them that portals could not be shared. Seo-Jian added a grim warning. If one greedy player opened multiple gates, others would be left to rot. Lee Ho-Young, Seo-Jian, he claimed. She warned. Lee Ho-Young and the others tensed, bracing for a fight. 12 hours ago, Kim Seong had been shouting that a girl like her had no business showing off in this hellhole. That the impact had launched him backward, crashing him into the dirt. The other players had watched in stunned silence, unable to process the violence. She had stood over his Now, Ho-Young addressed the dangerous woman, acknowledging their reunion. She asked what he wanted, but before he could speak, a red crosshair locked onto his face. He leaped back. As the system elsewhere, the creature Lee Ho-Young asked what he was doing sneaking around and why he looked like he'd seen a ghost. Kim Seong's face twisted as he realized the jig was up. Lee Ho-Young shoved him squarely into the vortex, telling him to quit wasting time. He dusted. With one headache removed, Ho-Young refocused. The system offered more guidance on his condition, and the new intel left him shaken. The guide revealed he did a level as a realization hit him. He couldn't just slaughter everything in sight, or the others wouldn't have enough monsters to spawn their own escapes. Walking through his eye, the foul, he leaped in. Lee Ho-Young, Sun Seo-Yin turned toward the noise. Lee Ho-Young palmed his face, cursing his rotten luck for not finding an exit sooner. He groans in frustration, complaining that he has never won a single thing in his life and that these RNG luck missions are his absolute nightmare. but a sly grin. If he were, then the truth is revealed in his internal monologue. He actually secured his own escape portal ages ago. A system note Sung So elsewhere reflecting on Lee Ho Young. She admit a quick right on cue. A system notification flashes red, confirming that only 3 escape portals now remain. He deduces he announces her They stand in silence over the corpse of a defeated orc. He asks if she still has business with him, gesturing to the rapidly depleting timer. She had Lee Ho Young Sung So Yi. He looks back. Suddenly, Kim Sang. The blow sends Kim Sang flying across the hall. Lee Ho Young pulls back his fist, casually explaining that he was just startled, thinking he would Chai Yi Seo Jin. Then Kim Sang he flexes but he knows he must suddenly, but the Sung So Yin immediately levels her weapon at the creature, demanding to know why the rabbit has returned. She pulls the monster. Lee Ho Young analyzes the skirmish intently. From the ground, Sung So Yin curses the creature, referring to it as the monster rabbit. Lee Ho Young questions how she was knocked back so easily, wondering if the rabbit was holding back or if the famous star hunter is actually the weakest one. In the tower, the rabbit dusts itself off and tells everyone to calm down, stating it is far too early for its departure. The other players watch in stunned silence. The rabbit then claps its paws and announces that it is time to proceed to the next mission. The creature proposes a change of scenery before ascending to the next floor, suggesting they alter the lobby's background. Lee Ho Young reacts with surprise as the reality around them warps. The hall transforms instantly into a gigantic, imposing library. From this moment on, the rabbit instructs everyone to select exactly 1 book each. It warns them with a twisted smile. The book could be the key to their survival, or it could be useless trash that leads them to a gruesome fate. The choice is theirs alone. Kim Seong refuses to let a mere book dictate his destiny, eyes burning with defiance, while Seo Jina frantically searches the shelves for a legendary swordsmanship manual. The rabbit guide cuts in with a chilling reminder. The forbidden secrets within these pages are for their eyes only, and the moment the next mission begins, these tomes will vanish into the void. Choose wisely, the creature sneers, hoping they pick a path they won't live to regret, before dissolving into thin air right before their eyes. Is that it? A man cries out, shattering the silence. Panic erupts as players scramble, scattering toward the martial arts and sword technique sections like starving wolves. Lee Hoyang observes the chaos with cold calculation, noting the sheep flocking to their classes as expected. Yet an invisible force makes him hesitate before joining the hunt. Suddenly, the system guide's voice pierces his mind with a singular command. Asterisk choose the book Monopoly of Connections of the triple S-rank regressor. Asterisk, he drifts into the despised romance section, and the moment his hand touches the spine, a system notification explodes in his vision confirming the selection. The system warns him sternly, asterisk this item is soulbound. Exchange is impossible, and revealing its contents to a living soul is forbidden, asterisk. Lee Hoyang stares at the cover, his brow twitching at the useless-sounding title. But his gut tells him the guide never makes mistakes, so he cracks open the spine. He skims the first chapter only to find a generic, cliché-riddled fantasy novel, and slams the book shut with disgust painted plainly across his face. Across the room, power surges around Seo Jina as she awakens the formidable thawing swordsmanship, her aura sharpening like a blade. Kim Seong inherits the devastating Fist King's punch, while Cha Yezil absorbs the ancient wisdom of the Eastern Doctor, leaving Lee Hoyang feeling a bitter pang of regret. Asterisk clang, clang, asterisk a rhythmic hammering shatters his thoughts, and he turns to find An Seichang inexplicably pitching a tent right in the heart of the library. Lee Hoyang stares in disbelief. What kind of insane manual requires camping gear? As the relentless hammering echoes like a clock counting down their remaining piece. Nearby, Sun Soyan unleashes a storm of strikes against a wooden dummy shaped like the rabbit, swearing vengeance with every blow as he watches her silent fury from the shadows. Asterisk best to stay clear of that storm, asterisk Lee Hoyang decides. Just as the system's voice booms overhead announcing that time is up, the library dissolves, reality twists, and reforms into a modern classroom, and he blinks, disoriented, noticing unfamiliar students frozen in time around them like statues. Did we shrink? One female player gasps, touching her face, while her companion nods in shock, realizing their bodies have reverted to their teenage years. Li Hoying inspects his hands, realizing the system has dragged them back to their student days to fit the twisted narrative of this new mission. He glances at Kim Seong, who just looks like a thug with a shaved head, while someone snickers that Li Hoying barely looks any different from his usual self. Then his eyes land on Cha Yezil, realizing the fierce warrior has been replaced by a stunning, youthful version of herself. Seo Jina gushes over Yezil's beauty, sparking a rare moment of warmth. But Li Hoying ignores the pleasantries and approaches a bespectacled girl in the corner asking, "Sun Soyeon?" She whirls around, fist clenched and eyes burning with a murderous glare, asking what he's looking at, proving that some attitudes never change. As she aggressively adjusts her glasses, the screech of static tears through the air, drawing all eyes to the speaker mounted on the classroom wall. Li Hoying looks up as the rabbit's mocking voice drips from the speaker, asking if they are enjoying the precious gift of returned youth. The creature drops the bombshell. The fifth-floor mission is role-playing, and they are now cadets in a prestigious hunter academy. It explains that for the next 4 days they will receive daily missions, and failure means being thrown instantly into a high-risk mission. Terror ripples through the group as the players realize the stakes. A single slip-up leads to a catastrophic outcome. Li Hoying's blood runs cold. He has survived this far, but a high-risk scenario is a death sentence that even he might not escape. He looks at his empty hands, regretting the choice of a trashy novel instead of a sword manual. Just as the rabbit prepares to speak again, "Now, to help you get into character," the rabbit announces, "I will grant everyone the necessary memories for this world." Beams of light spear down from the ceiling, piercing every player's skull, and Li Hoying isn't spared as forceful energy slams into his mind. He clutches his head, gasping as alien information burns its way into his neurons, leaving him breathless as the system confirms the installation is complete. As the pain fades, a strange clarity takes over, and he finds the sensation of 2 distinct timelines coexisting in his brain. Absolutely fascinating. The realization hits him like a truck. The new memories are the exact contents of the book * Monopoly of Connections of the Triple S-Rank Regressor *. The rabbit warns that the mission starts now, and at the front of the room, the frozen teacher suddenly animates to begin the lecture. A classmate leans in, whispering frantically that the background students are moving, and Li Hoying realizes the players are merely extras in this world. His eyes lock onto a young man sitting in the front row, instantly identifying him not as a student, but as the novel's protagonist. His name is Oh Yunim, a regressor who knows the future, and in the original story, he used that knowledge to monopolize connections and become the strongest existence. Pop quiz, the teacher barks, scanning the room, offering shop points to anyone brave enough to attempt the answer. Li Hoying glances at the board and recognizes the question is impossible for normal students, a level of difficulty that defies logic. In the novel, this was Oh Yunim's moment to shine, but before the protagonist can move, Li Hoying raises his hand and declares, the material is known as Exxion. He doesn't stop there, adding that Professor Brown's team at Columbia University is researching it, leaving the teacher stunned enough to call him a genius. *** points acquired ***. A slow smirk spreads across Li Hoying's face as the fog lifts. He finally understands why the guide forced that novel into his hands. He concludes that he doesn't need sword manuals when he has the script, and slowly, Oh Yunim turns around, locking eyes with the anomaly who just stole his destiny. Li Hoying cracks a wicked smile. He is determined to snatch every single one of those valuable connections for himself before anyone else can blink. The academy bells toll, shattering the silence. Class is over, and the real mission begins. Kim Seong presses Li Hoying on how he knew about this hidden event, but Hoying smoothly lies, claiming it came from the memories he inherited. A student whines that Hoying must have gotten the only good character. Hoying just shrugs, suggesting he take his complaints up with the tower itself. Kai steps up, anxiety clear in her voice. She asks the million-dollar question, when does he think the mission will actually trigger? Li Hoying stares dead ahead, right now. As the words leave his lips, a holographic system window pops up in front of everyone, announcing the mission start. The objective is brutal. Clear the dungeon next to Building B-30-7 in just 60 minutes. Failure isn't an option, it leads straight to a deadly high-risk penalty mission. Ho Young clenches his fist until his knuckles turn white. He refuses to let Nim snatch the dungeon boss's legendary item. That loot is his. Hurry up, a player screams, and the group stampedes toward the target. Nim steps into the orc's lair first, his eyes widening in surprise at the hidden entrance. He whips around, hearing the thundering footsteps of Lee Ho Young and his squad right on his heels. Unim's face twists in shock. How on earth did they find this place? In a flash of light, everyone is teleported straight to the dungeon's depths. They land hard, surrounded by a horde of snarling orcs. Lee Ho Young doesn't hesitate. He launches forward, his sword slicing through the air. Steel meets flesh as he lands a devastating direct hit on the first monster. Ho Young, he watches, his eyes are realized. Boom! The attack. Nim, Lee Ho Young. The clock is ticking down. Clearing the mission is guaranteed now. But that is not the real goal anymore. To claim the Ho Young admits it. Nim is stronger right now. But strength isn't everything. He activates a skill, scanning the darkness for the remaining monsters. I'm an Sun So Ho Young. He squared his weapon. Bang! She summons Shi Lock, Chai Yi, Lee Ho. The others miss. Jun Aurora. He pauses, panting heavily, leaning his weight on his sword as the tip digs into the stone floor. Asterisk. Then comes the judgment. The system declares the MVP who has earned the right to challenge the boss, and the name glowing in the air is Nim. Ho Young's Nim. Ho Young. Then